Tinkerbell is basically Disney's mascot, and if Tinkerbell is the key to Neverland, then what is she locking away? The true answer is a dark secret that Disney buried beneath 80 years of fairy dust. The reason Peter Pan could fly, the reason the Lost Boys never grew up, the reason Neverland is eternally stuck. It all comes down to the horrifying, ancient truth of the fairy. This isn't a story about a boy who wouldn't grow up. It's a story about a fairy who refused to let him. We all know Tinkerbell. She's the light, the pixie dust, the innocent heart of Neverland. She's cute, she's small, she's basically Peter Pan's sidekick. That's the version you remember, but that version is a calculated lie. Because if you truly analyze the rules of Neverland and what it means for a fairy to be fueled by emotion, you realize her innocence is a myth. She is volatile, obsessive, and capable of absolute emotional cruelty. She is the only character with the power to single-handedly destroy everyone in that world. The truth is clear. Tinkerbell is not a sidekick. She is a barely contained atomic weapon. And once you understand the horrific power she wields, you just might agree. Tinkerbell is the scariest character in Neverland. This idea hinges entirely on the fundamental, non-negotiable rule of her existence, which the movie casually throws out. Fairies are powered by belief. They literally die if belief in them fails. But belief is an emotion, and this creates the terrifying core of Tinkerbell's character. Her magic, her very light, is not a learned skill. It is the raw, untamed, and unshielded expression of her feelings. A fairy is a magical engine, and her emotions are the volatile fuel. Joy, rage, jealousy, adoration, all of it is instantly converted into pure, destructive power. Tinkerbell is not innocent. She is a magical mechanism, and the mechanism is driven by impulse. But this is where the horror begins, because this emotional mechanism is never checked by human morality. Peter Pan and the Lost Boys are trapped in a state of eternal childhood, immature, impulsive, yet they still operate within a familiar human framework of right and wrong. Tinkerbell is not human. She is the ultimate, pure expression of the never-grow-up mindset, unburdened by human consequence, unburdened by empathy, and unburdened by a moral compass. To a fairy, emotions are not complicated things to be managed. They are simple, necessary directives. If Tinkerbell is angry, the solution is not to meditate or talk. The solution is to use that power to eliminate the source of the anger. She is a creature whose internal state immediately becomes external reality. She does not regulate her feelings. Her feelings regulate the magic of Neverland itself. And when those feelings turn dark, the consequence is not a simple mood swing. The consequence is murderous intent. The true red flag is raised the moment Peter Pan brings Wendy to Neverland. For any other character, this would be a simple case of a child being jealous of a newcomer. But Tinkerbell is not a child. She is an unchecked emotional mechanism. And her emotional mechanism demands the elimination of a threat. Her jealousy is not passive, and it is not fleeting. It is instant, violent, and completely disproportionate to the offense. Wendy simply exists, and Tinkerbell reacts as if an assassin has entered the secret base. The fact that she can be possessive is bad enough. The fact that she acts on it is worse. This is the moment she crosses the final threshold from problematic character to true monster. She flies off into the forest and finds the Lost Boys. Now, a true innocent would throw a rock or try to scare Wendy away. But Tinkerbell performs a calculated act of manipulation and premeditated violence. She convinces the Lost Boys that the shadow of a bird has arrived to hurt them, and that bird is Wendy. She is not confused. She is deliberately misrepresenting Wendy as a fatal threat to incite a murder. This is the act of a manipulative villain, proving her capacity for malice is not only present, but coldly calculated.
You're charged with high treason, Tink. Are you guilty or not guilty? Guilty? Don't you know you might have killed her?
We've established her homicidal intent, but that intent is only half the horror. The other half is the true existential threat she poses just by existing. We need to shift the focus from what Tinkerbell feels to what Tinkerbell is. Tinkerbell is not just a friend who helps Peter fly. She is the sole, irreplaceable source of the substance that makes Neverland function. Pixie dust. Without her, there is no magical flight. There is no joy. There is no escape. She is literally the gatekeeper to fantasy. Think about that power dynamic. Every single character who finds happiness or freedom in Neverland, Peter, Wendy, the Lost Boys, every creature who relies on the magic in the air is completely reliant on her existence. The Lost Boys would likely lose the eternal youth that holds them in stasis. She holds the entire infrastructure of Neverland captive. Captain Hook is a threat you can fight with a sword. The pirates are a physical army you can outsmart. But Tinkerbell is a threat you cannot defeat. You can only manage her. Peter Pan doesn't love her. He manages her. He placates her. He tolerates her homicidal outbursts because he knows deep down that she is the essential, fragile source of his eternal fantasy. Tinkerbell is the ticking clock on Neverland's lifespan, and her volatile emotions are the countdown timer. She has the power to undo the entire dream. She is not a part of the world. She is the fuel for the world. And if the fuel source is volatile, the entire world is in danger. This makes her malice not just personal, but a cosmic threat to the very idea of Neverland. This power is more than just a resource. It is the ultimate point of leverage. Because if a fairy's existence is tethered to belief, and their power is tethered to their emotions, what happens if Tinkerbell has a real, catastrophic, emotional breakdown? Since her core rule is if you stop believing, the fairy dies. Her own existential despair, her own choice to stop believing in her life or purpose could literally drain the magic from the island. If Tinkerbell simply chose to stop glowing, to stop caring, Peter Pan would be unable to fly. She is a barely sentient, magical reactor whose emotional core is constantly on the verge of meltdown. And everyone in Neverland is living within her blast radius. So, when you ask who the scariest character in Neverland is, the answer is not the captain with the rusty hook. Hook is a theatrical villain. His threat is external, loud, and entirely predictable. You know his motivation: revenge. He operates on the surface level of the law. Tinkerbell is the subterranean threat. She is an internal, volatile, and necessary force of nature. She proves that unchecked emotion, when paired with cosmic power, is the greatest danger in any story. That is what makes her the scariest character in the entire mythology. We, as the audience, rely on Tinkerbell's emotional stability just as much as Peter Pan does. We need her light to keep the dream alive. We need her to be just jealous enough to be interesting, but never so furious that she decides the entire game is over. The moment you see her light flicker from pure white to a furious red. You aren't just watching a tantrum. You are watching the single most dangerous, fragile creature in the story trying to maintain control. And we know, given her history of calculated malice, just how easily that control can snap. But if one tiny fairy can hide a secret that dark, what is one of the most famous villains in history truly capable of? If you want to know how the Queen of Hearts is connected to real-world trauma and the true, chilling psychological breakdown hidden in Wonderland, then click the video right here on the screen now. The real source of her madness is far scarier than you can imagine. Thanks for watching.